What if everything the Fleming Bartlett family has built for generations was suddenly put at risk? Heartland Season 19 is not just about horses, love, and family bonds. It's about survival. The premiere, titled Risk Everything, promises to push the ranch and its people to their breaking point. With the release date finally in sight, fans are asking one question: how much can Heartland endure before everything changes forever? Season 19 begins with a storm brewing over Heartland, both literally and figuratively. The ranch has always been a symbol of strength, resilience, and tradition, but this season's premiere makes it clear that the future is anything but secure. Bartlett Foods, once their biggest partner in the meat supply chain, has suddenly pulled out of their deal, leaving the family in a desperate position. Without a buyer, Heartland faces financial collapse. This is not just a minor setback. It's a turning point that threatens the very land Jack Bartlett has spent his entire life protecting. The title of the episode, Risk Everything, could not be more fitting. Because in order to save Heartland, the family will be forced to make choices that could either secure their legacy or destroy it completely. Amy Fleming, as always, stands at the heart of the story. Still carrying the memory of Ty, she has built her life around keeping the ranch alive for their daughter, Lindy, but when the weight of survival grows heavier, Amy is forced to consider paths she never thought she would take. Does she modernize the ranch, even if it means letting go of the traditions that defined it? Does she lean on Nathan, whose presence is growing stronger in her life, despite the doubts many hold about his true intentions? Or does she try to carry everything on her shoulders alone, risking not only the land but her own happiness? These questions hover over Amy as the season opens, setting the stage for one of the most emotionally charged chapters of her journey. Meanwhile, Jack Bartlett feels the burden of time pressing against him. For decades, Jack has been the anchor of Heartland, the man who reminds everyone of the values and sacrifices that built the ranch in the first place. But in the Season 19 premiere, the cracks in his armor begin to show. The loss of Bartlett Foods is more than just a financial blow. It's a personal betrayal. Jack's fierce pride makes it hard for him to accept outside help, and yet without it, he knows Heartland might not survive. Watching him wrestle with his pride, his fears, and his responsibility to his family adds a layer of raw emotion that longtime fans will feel deeply. Tim Fleming, too, finds himself facing a crossroads. In earlier seasons, Tim often played the role of the restless father, chasing dreams while struggling to fully settle. But in Season 19, there are whispers that his story may finally reach its conclusion. As the ranch teeters on the edge, Tim is forced to decide what kind of legacy he will leave behind. Some believe this could be his farewell season, and if so, the premiere plants the seeds for a storyline that will either redeem him or leave fans heartbroken. The tension doesn't end there. Fans have been waiting for Georgie's return, and while the premiere may not confirm everything, it sets the tone for her possible reappearance. Her absence has been deeply felt, and the Season 19 opener leaves enough space for hope that she might once again ride into the Heartland story, bringing Quinn, and perhaps even an engagement, back into the fold. But perhaps the most gripping element of the premiere is the uncertainty that hangs over Amy's future. Fans know that the writers of Heartland are not afraid of tragedy. Ty's shocking death proved that no character is safe, and the haunting question remains: could Season 19 bring another devastating twist? The very title, Risk Everything, suggests that survival will come with a cost. Whether it's Amy facing danger, Jack confronting his own mortality, or Tim stepping away forever, the premiere makes it clear nothing is guaranteed, and everything is on the line. As the release date draws near, anticipation grows stronger. Historically, Heartland has kept a steady rhythm, with filming wrapping in August and the new season premiering in early October. This year, with filming ending slightly later than usual, fans are bracing themselves for a mid-October premiere. But whether it arrives in the first or second week of October, one thing is certain: the Season 19 premiere will not be a gentle return to life on the ranch. Instead, it will be a wake-up call, shaking the foundations of Heartland and forcing every character to face the question at the center of the season: how much are they willing to risk to hold on to what they love? The premiere of Heartland Season 19 does more than set up financial troubles. It peels back the layers of each character and shows how fragile their lives truly are. The ranch is not just land. It is history, identity, and legacy. But as Risk Everything unfolds, viewers see just how close that legacy is to slipping away. The struggles ahead are not just about money. They are about what each member of the family is willing to sacrifice for the ranch and for each other. Amy's journey takes center stage, and it is both inspiring and heartbreaking. She is no longer just a horse trainer, no longer just Ty's widow. In season 19, Amy stands as the protector of everything Heartland represents. But what happens when the protector begins to falter? In the premiere, Amy is forced to face questions she has avoided for years. Should she open her heart to Nathan, who continues to show up in ways that both comfort and confuse her? Or should she stay faithful to Ty's memory, even if it means shutting out her own chance at happiness? Fans have been divided for seasons over whether Amy should move forward or remain tied to the past, and in Risk Everything, this conflict becomes unavoidable. Every decision she makes feels heavier, not just because it affects her, but because it impacts Lindy, who watches her mother more closely than anyone else. For Lindy, the premiere begins a powerful transformation. No longer the small child living in the background of her mother's story, Lindy starts to take her place as a character with her own emotions, questions, and struggles. To her, Ty is still more than just a memory. He is a hero, a father whose absence shapes her identity. Watching her mother consider a new relationship forces Lindy into an inner battle. Should she cling tightly to her father's memory, or should she accept the possibility of someone new joining their lives? This storyline is more than touching. It is deeply relatable to anyone who has faced loss and the complicated process of healing. Jack's arc in the premiere also carries enormous weight. For decades, he has carried the ranch on his back, and fans know his pride runs as deep as his love for his family. But in Risk Everything, Jack's pride may become his greatest weakness. He resents the idea of asking for help, yet he knows that without change, Heartland could be lost forever. The premiere paints Jack as a man torn between the old ways and the new world pressing in around him. His emotional burden becomes clear in quiet but powerful moments, and it raises a chilling question. Is Jack strong enough to carry Heartland through this storm, or will his refusal to bend cause the ranch to break? Tim, meanwhile, enters the season with a strange air of finality. The whispers of this being his last chapter cannot be ignored, and the premiere fuels those suspicions. While Tim remains as outspoken and stubborn as ever, the cracks in his story begin to show. Fans know that Chris Potter has faced personal challenges balancing filming with family, and this reality bleeds into Tim's character. In Risk Everything, viewers see glimpses of Tim reflecting on his own life, his mistakes, and his unfinished business. There is tension in every scene he appears, leaving fans to wonder whether this will be the beginning of a long goodbye. And then there is Georgie. Though she does not ride back into the story in the premiere itself, her presence is felt like a shadow on the horizon. Fans cannot forget the bond Georgie had with the family, and her absence leaves an undeniable hole. The premiere teases just enough to make it clear that her story is not over, sparking hope that she will return later in the season with Quinn by her side. The idea of a proposal or engagement lingers in the background, giving fans something bright to look forward to amidst the storm of struggles. But the most haunting element of Risk Everything is the uncertainty it introduces. Heartland has never been afraid of tragedy, and season 19 feels especially unpredictable. Could another beloved character face their end? Could Amy fall victim to a cruel twist of fate that mirrors her mother's death? Could Tim finally meet the end that so many have speculated about? These questions hang over the season like dark clouds, reminding fans that no one is safe and that love and loss walk hand in hand at Heartland. By the end of the premiere, the message is clear. The ranch will either adapt or fall. The family will either unite or fracture. And Amy will either open her heart to a new beginning or risk losing herself in the past. Risk Everything is not just the title of the episode. It is the challenge every character must face. As the dust settles from the shocking premiere, the true scope of what Risk Everything means begins to sink in. Heartland has always been more than just a ranch. It has been a sanctuary, a gathering place, and a reminder that family is the strongest bond of all. But season 19 makes it clear, this sanctuary is now under threat, and survival will demand sacrifices from every character. The premiere plants seeds of tension that will echo throughout the entire season, leaving fans restless and eager for answers. At the center of the storm is Amy. For years, she has been portrayed as the healer, the one who saves horses, protects the land, and carries her family forward after Ty's devastating loss. But Risk Everything forces Amy to confront the painful truth. Even the strongest hearts can break under pressure. Her story in the premiere does not just revolve around the ranch's future, but also her own. Is she ready to risk opening her heart again? The possibility of love with Nathan hovers like a question she can no longer avoid. His charm, stability, and growing presence in her life stand in stark contrast to the uncertainty of the ranch's future. Yet every step she takes toward him feels like a step away from Ty's memory. For Amy, this is not just romance. It is a battle between grief and hope, between honoring the past and embracing the future. Lindy's role becomes even more poignant as the season begins. Watching her mother's struggle ignites a spark of independence in her young heart. She begins to ask questions, not only about her father, but about the meaning of love, loss, and family. Her innocence collides with the harsh reality that life is fragile and nothing lasts forever. This emotional journey is designed to tug at the audience's heartstrings, showing that even the youngest Fleming carries the weight of Heartland's future. The premiere ensures that Lindy will no longer be a silent presence in the background. Her choices, reactions, and growth will become a cornerstone of season 19. Meanwhile, Jack's story in the premiere cuts deeper than fans may expect. For decades, Jack has been the rock, the man who stood firm when everyone else faltered. But in Risk Everything, he shows vulnerability that longtime viewers rarely see. He questions his ability to protect the ranch, doubts whether he has the strength to carry on, and even entertains the painful thought of what life would look like if Heartland was no longer theirs. For fans who have admired Jack's resilience for nearly 2 decades, this vulnerability is both heartbreaking and relatable. It reminds us that even the strongest pillars can crack, and sometimes the bravest act is admitting that you cannot carry the weight alone. Tim's storyline in the premiere adds another layer of suspense. While he has always been divisive, sometimes frustrating, sometimes endearing, there is no denying his importance to the family's story. In Risk Everything, Tim faces the possibility that his time at Heartland may be running out. The episode subtly weaves in moments of reflection, a glance at the land, a pause during conversation, a flicker of emotion in his eyes. These moments hint that Tim's journey is building towards something final, something that could leave a permanent mark on the show. Fans who have followed his chaotic but passionate journey know that if season 19 is his last, his farewell will be nothing short of emotional. And while Georgie's absence still lingers, the premiere cleverly keeps her presence alive. Hints, mentions, and subtle references keep the hope burning that she will make a grand return. For many fans, Georgie represents the future of Heartland's equestrian legacy, and without her, the story feels incomplete. The season 19 opener ensures that her absence is not ignored, but rather used as a tool to heighten anticipation for the moment she eventually rides back into the family's lives. Perhaps the most powerful element of Risk Everything is its unpredictability. The premiere doesn't give fans the comfort of knowing where the story is headed. Instead, it poses questions with no easy answers. Will the ranch survive without Bartlett foods? Will Amy choose love or solitude? Will Jack find a way to lead the family through one more storm? Will Tim face his final chapter? And will tragedy strike again, forcing the Flemings to redefine what family truly means? These questions leave fans on edge, knowing that the answers could change Heartland forever. By the end of the premiere, viewers are left with one undeniable truth. The season ahead will test the very soul of Heartland. The family we have loved for nearly 2 decades stands at the edge of their greatest trial yet, and the choices they make will decide whether their legacy thrives or crumbles. Risk Everything is not just a premiere, it is a declaration that season 19 will be unlike anything Heartland has delivered before. The power of Heartland has always been its ability to mirror real life, the joys, the struggles, and the heartbreaking twists that none of us can control. Season 19, with its premiere, Risk Everything, makes it clear that this chapter will not hold back from showing the harshest truths. The stakes are higher than ever, and the looming threat of loss casts a long shadow across every storyline. Fans who have followed the Fleming Bartlett family for nearly 2 decades know that when Heartland foreshadows danger, it rarely does so without reason. Amy's arc grows heavier with each passing moment. For so long, she has been the anchor of the family, the person who takes on everyone's burdens without ever asking for help. But in season 19, the question becomes, how much can Amy carry before she breaks? Rumors suggest that the writers may introduce a health scare or life-threatening accident that will force Amy to confront her own mortality, an echo of her mother Marion's tragic fate. Such a storyline would not only shake the family to its core, but also mirror the generational themes that Heartland has always embraced. For Lindy, the possibility of losing her mother would open one of the most heartbreaking storylines the show has ever dared to tell. And for fans, the thought of Amy in danger is almost unbearable, yet undeniably gripping. But the premiere also sows the seeds of another painful possibility: Tim's departure. For years, whispers have surrounded Chris Potter's future on the show, and Risk Everything does little to quiet them. Instead, it raises the chilling possibility that Tim's story may be heading toward its final chapter. Imagine the emotional impact of Tim, once the flawed but fiery father, finally finding peace, only for that peace to come in the form of a farewell. Whether through illness, accident, or a sudden twist, his exit would force Amy and Lou to redefine their roles as daughters, and the family as a whole would once again be tested by loss. The premiere leaves this door wide open, and fans are left wondering if they are being prepared for Tim's last ride. Jack, too, faces the threat of tragedy in his own way. At his age, every setback feels heavier, every challenge harder to overcome. The ranch's financial struggles strike at the heart of his identity. For Jack, Heartland is not just a home, it is his life's work, the symbol of his love for Marion, his daughter, and his grandchildren. Watching him struggle with the thought of losing it all is like watching a lion forced to admit that his strength is fading. Some fans fear that season 19 may be setting the stage for Jack's goodbye, though others believe his role as the unshakable patriarch is too vital to lose. Either way, the premiere makes it clear Jack will be pushed to his limits, and the weight of legacy may become more than even he can bear. In the midst of all this tension, the whispers of love still linger. Amy and Nathan's potential relationship hangs in the balance, stirring excitement and dread among fans. Could the writers really bring Amy to the point of marriage by the end of the season? Some believe it would be a beautiful symbol of moving forward, while others fear it would feel like erasing Ty's memory too soon. The premiere's tone makes it clear that love will not come without risk. If Amy does choose Nathan, or anyone, it will not be a simple decision. Lindy's reaction, Jack's approval, and the opinions of the entire Heartland family will weigh heavily on her choice. The suspense lies not in whether Amy can find love again, but in whether that love will truly heal her, or whether it will tear open old wounds. And then, there is Georgie. While she may not appear in the premiere, her absence is used brilliantly to build tension. The family speaks of her, the memories of her presence haunt the ranch, and hints are dropped that her story is far from over. Fans know that Georgie's return could bring joy, but also new challenges. What if she comes back engaged? What if her return stirs old conflicts, especially with Lou or even Amy? The premiere positions Georgie's absence as one of the season's biggest mysteries, ensuring that when she finally does return, it will feel like a seismic shift in the story. By the time the credits roll on Risk Everything, viewers are left with more questions than answers. Will the ranch survive? Will Amy face tragedy, or will she find love again? Is Tim's farewell closer than we think? Could Jack finally break under the weight of responsibility? And when Georgie returns, will it bring healing or conflict? This uncertainty is what makes the premiere so powerful. It does not provide comfort. It delivers tension, doubt, and the unshakable feeling that nothing in season 19 will be simple. Heartland has always been about family, but season 19 asks the hardest question yet: what happens when family is tested beyond what it can endure? Risk Everything is not just a title, it is a warning. The Fleming-Bartlett family will be forced to gamble with their future, their relationships, and perhaps even their lives. And fans will be watching, hearts pounding, desperate to know who will survive, who will triumph, and who may be lost forever. As the story of season 19 unfolds from its explosive premiere, Risk Everything becomes more than just a theme. It becomes the guiding force for every character's journey. Heartland has always thrived on its balance between heartfelt moments and harsh realities, but this season tilts heavily toward the latter. Every decision feels like a gamble, every relationship like a fragile thread that could snap at any moment. Fans are left gripping their seats, knowing that one wrong choice could unravel the Fleming-Bartlett family's entire legacy. For Amy, this season is a test of resilience like she has never faced before. Her struggle is not just about saving the ranch, it is about saving herself. The premiere makes it clear that she can no longer hide behind the roles of mother, daughter, and horse trainer. She must confront her own desires, her own grief, and her own need for love. Whether she chooses to open her heart to Nathan, or perhaps to someone else entirely, the risk is immense. Love could either heal the wounds left by Ty's death or shatter them wider than ever. This tension follows Amy like a shadow throughout the season, ensuring that fans will debate every move she makes. Lindy's growth is equally central to the story. Once the symbol of innocence, she now represents the weight of the future. Every choice Amy makes ripples into Lindy's world, shaping her view of love, trust, and resilience. If Amy does step into a new relationship, Lindy's acceptance or rejection of that change could define the entire season's emotional core. In Risk Everything, we see the beginnings of her transformation from a child in the background to a young girl whose voice will matter and whose perspective will shape the family's destiny. Jack's journey takes a darker turn. He is a man who has always fought to preserve Heartland, but in Season 19, the possibility of failure gnaws at him like never before. The financial collapse of the ranch feels like a personal attack on his very soul. Fans know that Jack is more than a patriarch. He is the glue that holds the family together. But what happens when that glue begins to crack? The season dares to suggest that Jack may not be invincible, and that possibility alone is enough to leave fans anxious. His speeches, his wisdom, and his quiet strength have carried Heartland for years, but in Season 19, Jack himself may be the one who needs saving. Tim's arc continues to stir speculation. His character has always walked the line between redemption and regret, but the premiere plants the seeds of finality. Every glance, every pause, every reflective moment feels like a goodbye waiting to happen. If this truly is Tim's farewell season, then Risk Everything will ensure his exit is nothing short of devastating. His story is a reminder that even the most flawed family members leave a mark, and that love often comes with loss. Fans are bracing themselves for heartbreak, but they also know that if Tim's story ends, it will be in a way that honors his importance to the family. And then, of course, there is the lingering question of Georgie. Her absence is not an accident. It is deliberate, a piece of suspense woven into the fabric of Season 19. The premiere's careful hints make it clear that her return is not a matter of if, but when. And when she does return, it will not be quiet. Georgie has always been a character of passion and determination, and her re-entry into the family could bring with it joy, conflict, or even shocking revelations. A potential engagement to Quinn hangs in the air, promising a storyline that could either heal old wounds or open new ones. The brilliance of Risk Everything lies in how it leaves fans without answers. The premiere does not resolve, it provokes. It sets the tone for a season where nothing is certain and everything is at stake. Will Amy find love again or be crushed by loss? Will Lindy step into her father's shadow or carve her own path? Will Jack protect the ranch one last time, or will it slip through his fingers? Will Tim finally say goodbye? And when Georgie returns, will it be the reunion fans have been waiting for, or a spark that ignites new chaos? What makes Season 19 stand apart is its willingness to break patterns. Heartland has always delivered hope, but this season dares to suggest that hope may come at a cost. The premiere tells fans that survival is not guaranteed, that love may not always conquer, and that legacy sometimes demands sacrifice. These truths make Risk Everything one of the boldest and most daring openings in the show's history. As fans count down the days to the October release, anticipation is at a fever pitch. The premiere does not just invite viewers back into the world of Heartland, it challenges them to prepare for a ride that could leave them laughing, crying, or even devastated. Season 19 is not about comfort. It is about truth. And the truth is that the Fleming-Bartlett family will be forced to risk everything they hold dear, with no guarantee of what they will have left when the dust settles.